What's up, guys? This is Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. Today we're going to talk about our picks for the best clean whey protein powder. We have done quite a few videos on different types of protein powders that we really love. So if you have any questions about other ones that aren't on our list today that we've talked about, go ahead, watch other videos that we've done. Some of them have been with registered dietitian Destiny, and we just love having her on. But today we're going to talk about my top 4 picks for the best clean protein powders, talk all about cost, talk all about the macro profile, and then why we like this protein. But first, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can continue to see videos like this one. If you want to go ahead and purchase any of these products, make sure you use the link below the like button. When you use that link, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does give us a small commission. So let's talk first about my overall top pick. If you watch any of my videos before, you know that this is like my heart and soul. It is the Legion Cinnamon Cereal. But just recently, I actually tried the cookies and cream flavor, and that might be edging out cinnamon cereal. I'm not sure. But if you were a child or an adult, okay, let's just be honest. Like if you are a human and you've tasted Cinnamon Toast Crunch or the Oreo O cereal, like that is exactly what these taste like. But not just that, like sometimes that can be overly sweet. These proteins actually do a really good job of balancing the flavor with not being overly sweet. The other thing I like about Legion is that it uses stevia to sweeten your protein powders versus any sort of artificial sweeteners, which sometimes just throw off the taste and can be like overly sweet. Now with Legion products, they have a really good macro profile, and depending on what flavor you get, it does kind of vary. But in general, there's about 120 to 130 calories per scoop, as well as about 1 gram of fat, maybe 1 to 3 grams of carbs, and then about 22 to 25 grams of protein. Now, Legion has over 16 flavor options to choose from, so there is a lot of variety. It is more expensive, but it is a third-party tested protein. Now, you can go ahead and just buy and do like a one-time purchase of the protein, or you can go ahead and do subscribe. It is going to save you about $6 to $7 per order when you do the subscribe and save. Not only that, but Legion is like always having sales. I mean, I just checked out their website this morning, and they are having a huge sale on the whey protein. I don't know if that's going to last by the time this video comes out, but be sure to be checking their website frequently because they're always having sales. Legion also uses whey protein isolate, meaning that they take almost all of the lactose out of that protein powder, which just means it's way more easily digestible. I mean, if you've experienced a cheap protein powder and you've had like stomach upset, you know what I'm talking about. With Legion, I've never had any sort of trouble, and I think, again, it's because it's that protein isolate, which is just so much easier on your stomach and so much more easily digestible. Another one that I want to talk about is Momentous Essential Grass-Fed Whey. Obviously, this is a grass-fed whey protein. Now, there's a lot of debate on is grass-fed whey actually better. In my opinion, the one thing that I have noticed about grass-fed whey proteins versus non-grass-fed whey proteins is the overall taste. It is just smoother. It's a better taste all across the board. And so for me, like after I have tasted non-grass-fed whey proteins versus grass-fed whey proteins, I am always going to go grass-fed whey, and that is just because taste alone, in my opinion. Now, Momentous is actually cold pressed, which cold pressed is the way of processing that prevents the protein from denaturing and preserves more of the amino acids and the nutrients within the milk protein. Obviously, all this means is that it is going to be more easily digestible. Same with kind of Legion, how they've taken out a lot of the lactose and using that process to make it easily digestible. The cold press is another process that can make it a lot more easily digestible. Now, another thing that Momentous does, they actually include prohydrolase, which again is another kind of protein. So you have like your protein isolate, your protein concentrate, and then you have prohydrolase, which is basically a blend of digestive enzymes. So again, something that's going to be a lot more easy on your stomach. Whenever we were looking at like clean protein powders, one of the first things that we did ask ourselves and that we did test was like, is this an easily digestible product? Because if not, like, because we don't think it's a clean product. Like, we don't want any sort of fillers. We don't want any sort of like artificial flavors or artificial ingredients when we are recommending a clean product. When you take prohydrolase in conjunction with protein, it can actually increase your levels of amino acids, so your branched chain amino acids, helping with recovery, helping with muscle growth, and then again, helping with that easily digestible protein. Each scoop is around 160 calories. It has about 1.5 grams of fat, 10 carbs, which is a lot higher than we see with other protein powders. However, I actually like at least a little higher carb content. I know that 10 grams of carbs is like nothing, but I generally take my protein right before the gym and I like having carbs in there. So for me, this is not a bad thing, but if you are watching your macro profile, I mean, just know that like 10 grams of carbs in a protein powder might be a little bit on the higher end. Now, one thing I will say is it only contains 20 grams of protein per serving. So I do wish that that was a little higher, but overall, it's not like the biggest deal. At least it has 20 grams. Now, they do have basic flavors. So they have your vanilla, they have your chocolate, and then they also have unflavored. Now, this is a little bit more expensive, around $65 per container. However, if you go ahead and again do like their subscribe program, you can save about $15 for every time you buy that protein. Okay, it wouldn't be like a clean protein review if we did not include one from Transparent Labs, and that's Transparent Labs grass-fed whey protein. Transparent Labs is sourced from 100% grass-fed cows. So again, like I said earlier, I just think that grass-fed protein tastes better. So overall, I mean, Transparent Labs is one of my favorite ones to drink because of the flavoring in them. I still like Legion best, like that's just my opinion, but Transparent Labs chocolate peanut butter protein, I went through that so fast. It tastes delicious, and they have about 15 flavor options that you could choose from. I know Anthony here at GGR loves the chocolate. I think that's kind of boring, but you know, he loves the chocolate, so good for him. It is $60 per container, which that is expensive, but it is third-party tested. Now, you can go ahead, do subscribe and save just like a lot of these other companies do. One thing I find funny is that on the options of subscribe and save, it's like 15 days, 30 days, 45 days. I'm like, are we really subscribing and saving every 15 days to be sent protein powder? That just kind of seems excessive to me. For me, I'd probably choose the 30 to 45 days and then save a little bit of money. With Transparent Labs, one of the things that I really appreciate is if you go to their website, it'll list the ingredients and then tell you how much dosage is in each ingredient. So you don't have to ever worry about any sort of fillers. You know exactly what you're getting in your protein powder. And so if you want something that's third-party tested, you want to be able to clearly see what you are taking in, then Transparent Labs is definitely one of the best ones to go to. The last one on our list is from Clean Athlete, and it's the Clean Isolate. Now, one of the things that is so good about this product is that it only contains 2 ingredients. So you're not having any sort of fillers, any sort of artificial flavoring or artificial sweeteners within that. All it has is sunflower lectin, which basically is just helping with the mixability, and then your whey protein isolate. It does contain 20 to 22 grams of protein depending on what flavor you get. So overall, I do wish it was a little higher, but I still think that the 22 grams of protein per scoop is actually really good, especially knowing that that is essentially just like all protein in that. So GGR staff writer Kane, he actually tested the unflavored, which I think is just like hilarious to me. But he said he liked doing that because he was able to easily put it in his smoothies in the morning and it was easily digestible and it really didn't offer any sort of flavor. So if you are somebody who maybe doesn't want to drink like a protein powder just straight with milk or straight with water and you want to be able to mix it in, bake it, do smoothies, whatever, then the unflavored from Clean is actually a really good option because it really is unflavored. Like it doesn't add any sort of taste to it. Now, the reason we think this one is actually really specifically good for athletes is because it is NSF certified, which means that it just makes it like a prime choice for athletes who are getting any sort of like drug tested throughout their season. Now, this is a higher price point costing $2.87 per serving, which is just like the highest price point that we have seen so far. But if you are an athlete and you want that NSF certification and you want just to like the knowledge and the comfort of knowing that this is absolutely tested and the product is clean, then definitely go with that. If you are somebody who isn't being tested on the regular basis, I'd probably go with Legion or Transparent Labs and save yourself a little bit of money. But that is just my opinion. Plus, I think Legion and Transparent Labs taste the best. But again, just my opinion. If you have a different opinion on something that you would consider a clean whey protein, let us know in the comments below. This has been Lindsay with Garage Gym Reviews. Peace.